And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! I'm excited, as always, for tonight's show. I've got a fantastic guest, one that I got to chat with a little bit with a panel of people not too long ago on Daniel Kubal's channel. Check him out on the socials if you haven't. He's awesome too. But I have an awesome indie author here who's just fantastic. I've been chatting with him a lot. Hilarious guy. You're going to love him. But his books also are very cool. I have The Discarded Knight right here. And I just started reading that a few chapters in, and I'm absolutely loving it. He's a great writer. I can't wait to talk to him and just get to know him better and to let you guys get to know him better. Before I bring him on, as a reminder for anybody watching this on replay or live, links to his books are in the description down below. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on the star of the show, and I'm talking about the hilarious and talented author, Andrew Johnston. How we doing, my friend?
Hi.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a fun time. All right. We got a couple people in the chat already joining us. Let me shout them out. We got Chris, the Writing Jester. What's up, my friend? Another awesome author. And J.A. Bryden, another awesome indie author. Good day, my friend.
Hi,
all right. So, and we got more people popping in as they leave comments. We'll shout them out and see what everybody's got to say. But yeah, we were talking a little bit beforehand. Sounds like you had a good day. I did too. It's good to see you here. Oh, and speak of the, I won't say speak of the devil. We'll say speak of the angel. Daniel is here. How's it going, man?
Hi, Daniel.
Thanks for being here. All right. So before we get too far into all the questions I'm going to ask you and all we're going to talk about, I want you to just real quick introduce yourself and tell us about your books.
Well, my name is Andrew Johnston. I write epic portal fantasy, and I'm going to be venturing into grimdark.
Yeah.
I'm about 20,000 words into a grimdark involving a psychic chef, a one-legged farmer, and a bookworm trying to undermine a tyrannical government and also stop a famine. The books that I currently have out are The Discarded Knight, which is about a Victorian-era teen finding his courage and jousting to free his family from another dimension. This has autistic representation in it, pinch of time travel, some Batman references, and you're sure going to love it. Now, I also have out, and this came out June 2nd. The other book has been out nearly a year, and it's the most popular out of the two. But this one here, The Ignited Moon, it is a epic fantasy. It is about a revenge-seeking ice princess battling a world-burning threat. It has massive dragons that could take a nap on New York City. They travel using lightning storms. It also has some heartbreak, some betrayal, semi-romance in there, and a great cast of side characters.
Very nice. That's awesome. I got to snag that one. I love your covers. They both look incredible, by the way.
Yeah. Done by Katrin Russell.
Very nice. Oh, love it. Love it. Yeah, I am very impressed so far with Discarded Knight. I just started reading that. And I just love early on, like already just it hasn't even gotten to the fantasy stuff. It's just talking about Arthur and his life and kind of his upbringing. And you've got me hooked already with that. If the story was just about that, I would already love it and couldn't put it down. But the fact that I know there's some portal stuff and fantasy stuff coming, even cooler. So I can vouch for anyone thinking about picking up these books. You should. Andrew's writing is great.
It's definitely a slow burn with Alfred's story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just all throughout that and everything. But he goes through it. Imagine the worst parents in the world, and he has them.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
So what that makes me think of for this story to start out, what was your inspiration for Discarded Knight? I know with the main character having autism, that's something that you also experienced. So I know that was part of the inspiration, but with that dynamic, you write it so well. Where did you get that inspiration for him having parents that just do not understand him and don't even try to? Was that from the world more, or did you have some of that in your own life?
Well, I had that from, I was late diagnosed at 19.
Okay.
So, parents, my parents are great. They raised me as if it didn't technically exist, and up until 19 that technically
Right.
we didn't know.
Didn't know, yeah.
But my parents were great, which is funny because when I was writing this, I posted some online. I said, I always write crummy parents or parents that aren't around anymore and so forth. But my parents are great. So my mom commented below. She says, "Well, I can give you some inspiration." Like, no, mom, be nice, mom. Be nice, be nice, be nice, and everything. But no, I drew from my experiences with people and my, when you get further along, my dislike of certain kinds of work environments and everything, and also the fact that I felt that I needed to see a story that was as inclusive as possible as far as disabilities are concerned, and as far as worldly is concerned. And I just wanted to cover tackling bullying, because the character goes through bullying, and we all at one point or another have been bullied, and so I want to show how that's handled in a more older sense and everything.
Very cool. So, all right, the first book that Discarded Night came out about a year ago, and then you decided to go with more. Is it more of an epic fantasy? You said Ignited Moon.
Yeah, the Ignited Moon is an epic fantasy. It's actually one of two prequels, and that hopped around a lot as to whether I was going to have a trilogy or whatnot. But what I wanted to do was have everything be super accessible to where you could read that and not feel lost. So when the next Iron Frost universe book comes out, you'll read and you won't feel lost or anything. Cool. There's going to be 3 of them in total.
Okay.
And the third one is going to be the biggest of them all.
Wow.
And it'll answer questions and that you couldn't get from the other 2. And that one is about a aging bodyguard traveling across the world on a dragon to stop the world's fastest woman from disassembling civilization.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
So
you got some awesome ideas for characters, man. So so Ignited Moon is going to have 3 books to it, and then the Grimdark you're working on, is that totally different universe, world?
It's a completely different universe. It's more grounded in a way. The dragons in that are more like attack dogs and everything, like you would see from like special forces and so forth. It takes inspiration from the Russian Revolution and the Romanovs. So the kind of like psychic chef is she's kind of like how there was rumored to be Anastasia, one of the Romanovs being alive and everything, but that one's only like 20,000 words in, but it's turning out to be pretty good. And I don't know if I'll self-publish that or not. I think I'm going to try and see if I can query it.
Okay.
And the working title that I have for it is called "You Killed My Dragon."
Nice.
So it's a combination. Actually, it's a combination of John Wick and the Terminator.
Oh man, that's amazing. That sounds awesome. John Wick and the Terminator. Okay, I like it. Well, you already had me with when you described the characters and when you said a psychic chef, a one-legged farmer. Is that what you said?
Yeah, one-legged farmer. Yeah.
That's so cool. And a librarian.
Yeah, he's like a kind of like a bookworm and everything, very inexperienced and so forth. Has to live up to, Dad's image of a awesome warrior and so forth.
Ah, dude. And now, so those awesome characters, and it's like John Wick meets Terminator. Oh, all right.
You think the title, like you killed my dragon, and then the first John Wick is like, you killed my dog.
Killed my dog. Oh, that's awesome, man. I love the title, love the setup and characters. I can't wait for that one, man. All right, very cool. So I love the covers. Tell us a little bit about how the process went for you, finding a cover artist and designing it and working with someone on it, because they came out great.
Well, it didn't really take long to find a cover artist. I went back and forth with a lot of different people and so forth, trying to kind of establish a way to get myself out there,
Mhm.
and eventually Katrin was recommended to me, and she'll be doing all the Iron Frost books. She did both these books, and I basically send her a description of what I'm looking for, and that's where we go from there.
Nice.
I'm thinking for um, Prim Noir, which is the next Iron Frost book, instead of it being like holding up a spear and so forth, handling a spear,
Mhm.
it's going to be a hand holding up maybe a bow or maybe an arrow, because the main
Nice.
character is a hunter, and has to find her self confidence because she's half burnt and everything, and that's
Oh, wow.
making her
Okay.
feel like she doesn't belong anywhere.
Oh, man,
It's
that's
kind of one of
awesome.
those things where looks don't matter, but deeds matter. That's the
Yeah,
main lesson from that.
dude,
But
that's
with
cool.
the
I love.
ignited moon, it's just basically it's betrayal and heartache, and trying to save a loved one, and the stakes are cosmic level because you got to stop the world from burning, basically, because the moon ignites and everything. And with this world, I'll say that it has its own moon. Like the continent that you explore has its own moon. There's actually two moons in the whole universe, the whole world, but this has a special one that
Okay.
has special relevance as far as religion and tradition is concerned. But when you read the book, you'll understand as far as what the Ignite Moon is concerned. Now, that, as I said, is the newest book I have out. Came out June 2nd, and then of course we have the Discarded Night.
Yep. Very nice. So what's the next one that you think will be released? Will it be the follow-up to Ignited Moon, or are you gonna finish your Grimdark one next?
Well, see, here's the thing: is I kind of built myself a solid foundation. Prim
Yeah.
Noir, which will be the next prequel, is
Mhm.
already written,
Hmm.
and it's
Nice.
going to be released. I'm going to try and release it in 2026.
Okay.
Start with cover design and stuff like that, formatting in
Yep.
September, and then the third and final book, much later, because I have to redo the story a bit, because it was one way. Now I gotta make it the way I just told your audience.
Yeah.
And as far as the Grimdark is concerned, I'll just keep working on that
Hmm.
as time goes
Okay.
on.
Cool. You got a great, you got a great foundation set. You're ready to rock and roll for a
Mhm.
while. That's good, man. Nice.
11 years of creating that foundation. So,
It was worth it, because here we are. You got two books out and one ready to go in the next year or so. So that's awesome.
mhm.
Very good. All right. So before we'll switch gears a little bit and talk about kind of your journey to publishing and writing and all that stuff. I have a question for you,
Okay.
Andrew. Do you like really bad dad jokes?
Hey, I'll take them. I'll take them. I like. I'm an uncle, so I have commandeered all the bad dad jokes,
Oh yeah,
that I can find. So
you so
it's like,
you're used to
if you weren't here, you'd be someplace else, and I was there yesterday. So
it. All right, that's good. I like that. All right, here we go. So I got I, I got some really bad ones here. Okay. First up, since we're talking about books, what do most cows like to read?
what?
Cattle logs. Oh, that
Wow,
that was a clever one. That was a
that is
clever one.
clever. That is clever.
All right, all right, this one's really dumb. So we'll end I'll do a second one just because this one's ridiculous. All right, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. What's brown and sticky?
What?
A stick.
Good glaciers. Wow. It's very on the nose.
That's very on the nose. All right.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, good times. All right. All right. We got another person in here. What's up, John? Thanks for being here. All right. So take us back to when you were young, just a young Andrew, and tell us about your journey. Kind of first, maybe two parts to it. One, when did you get into fantasy, and like maybe what books or movies or things kind of led you into this realm? And then also, when did you first start writing? And then when did it become an idea in your head? Like, I like writing. I'm going to go for it and try to write a book and publish it. And then talk about that journey for us.
Absolutely. Well, I originally wanted to be a voice actor, and you of course experienced some of my voices on Daniel's podcast. And I went to a Comic-Con, met the actor who played Cliff from Cheers, and we found out that I wasn't really serious about being a voice actor because I didn't want to leave home and so forth. And I, was in a different mindset then. So I wanted to be serious about something, and I started reading the Song of Ice and Fire books and got into those. And I was like, okay, this is something that I want to do. So I started writing, and I started using whatever I could remember from high school as far as the whole grammar, spelling, punctuation stuff is concerned. And that's gotten significantly better over the last 11 years. And I just kept on going until I kind of found my niche, which is like epic fantasy. And I want to explore more variations of fantasy since I'm, starting the grimdark. But that was the first portion of it. And, I wanted to do traditional publishing in the beginning, and I still want to, but I'm finding that being able to do things a certain way, my way, and all that is pretty rewarding, though I would like to be hybrid because that just gets you more out there. Now, as far as getting up to this point, honestly, the sales, the experience, and all that was kind of like a trickle thing to where it was like you didn't quite turn off the sink, so now it's dripping. Yeah. And the dripping doesn't come that frequently, but it does drip. And then May of this year hit, and that faucet was on full blast. Man. It has slowed since the end of May. But I will say, though, that I'm becoming a little bit more well known. People were saying nice things about my writing. Heck, I had a guy who, I guess he must have bullied me back in a previous job. He emailed me and said that, he was proud of me that I was following my dreams, and that he apologized and wanted my autograph and stuff like that. And that felt really good. And other stuff. I even have a review of the Scarred Knight. It's basically 4 pages of stationery that I have in an envelope. And it's just been more rewarding ever since. I just have to get the next book out there and find myself an event and do more events and everything. And right now I'm in a good place.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's been quite the journey. And I think that your writing is going to resonate with a lot of people because it's good and you have really fun, exciting ideas. But also everything you talked about with each story and the characters, you layer in real life stuff that I think people can relate to, with lessons that I think people can really learn from and connect with. And I think that that's what's going to kind of push you over the top eventually, because your writing's great, but you've got something extra special with what I just said. So I'm excited for you, man. And I'm happy to know you, and I'm excited to get to chat with you and to get to read your books, dude. So let me shout out a couple more people that popped in here while we were chatting. That guy is here. We all love that guy. Thanks for being here, man. And another awesome indie author, the lovely Molly Macabre from Where the Macabre Things Are. What's up, Molly? Good to see you. All right, so that is a good journey, man. I'm excited for you, and that's cool. So it was Game of Thrones. Were those like the first big fantasy books that you got into?
Well, I was actually Lord of the Rings, and which I basically tried to read that just to see if I could do it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, as of now, I have read it 4 times, and I wanted to read it every year, but I'm like, I gotta I gotta explore a bit more into other places and everything. Maybe come back to it in the future. Same with Dune.
Oh yeah.
Because I got into Dune, and I was like, man, this is great. And then I got into the third book. I'm like, my brain's melting.
I know. I hear you, man.
I had to go open the freezer and
Stick your head in there.
solidify the cranium and the brain and all that and so forth, because it's just, I don't know, maybe, hey, that's Frank Herbert, but
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, no, A Song of Ice and Fire is what really did it for me. And I went from there. Now, am I going to write some big honker books like that are that thick? No, not really. I like faster pace. I like immersive detail and so forth. But I'm not going to have something that you could build a 1/8 scale version of the Great Pyramid.
Fair enough.
You could actually probably add another measurement on top of that for Stephen King's It, because that bugger is huge.
That is a beast. That thing is gigantic. I agree. But it is really good. But it is huge. Very big. All right. So let's switch lanes a little bit again and talk about your writing process. So I got a few questions so we can get to know about different things that you have when you write. So first question is, and I think, I don't know if I asked you this or someone else asked you this when we were with Daniel for your interview, but so it might be a little repeat. But for the people here, they might not have seen that. So my first question for you about your process is, do you consider yourself, there's a pantser who just sits down, writes by the seat of their pants, doesn't plan anything, doesn't plot anything, they just go. And then there's a plotter who plots out everything, will not deviate from that pre-plotted outline no matter what. Those are the two ends. Where do you fall in there? Are you right in the middle? Do you cheat one way or the other? Does it depend on the book if you go one way or the other? How do you do that?
I would say I'm in the middle. What I basically do is I come up with the idea, do some research, and start typing away a little bit, and then I'll start using notebooks, and as far as outlining the story is concerned, and eventually I'll forget that those notebooks exist, and I'll just go from there. Now, as my process has evolved, I'm still in the middle, but the only reason I write anything down now is so that for consistency. That way I can look at something and be like, okay, well, that's what that creature looks like. Let's not deviate from what that creature looks like.
That's a good idea.
So and if somebody gets like a scar or something like that, I can make sure that scar plays a point. Like, for example, in the Grim Dark, the character who is the one-legged farmer, he gets cut up pretty bad whenever he at the beginning, and I made notes about that because I want to make sure that if I wanted to play a part at all, that I can make it play a part. And I was actually able to do that with at least a head wound. I was able to,
very nice,
make that exist once again.
Well, that's good, because I mean, I think we've all read a book, traditionally published book, where you're reading something, then later in the book or in the series, you're like, wait a minute, didn't this happen? And it doesn't make sense now. So that's a great way to keep track of things. Just write them down so you don't forget.
Exactly. Well, that happens with A Song of Ice and Fire, because you have Tyrion that goes from this guy who can do handstands and gymnastic stuff to somebody who is like in pain and trying to get up steps.
That's true.
It's like almost like an old man, but he's probably in like his 20s or 30s.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Have you ever had, with the way that you do things, since you allow some room for pantsing, have you in either any of your books or in your grimdark one, have you had a character that was maybe supposed to be a side character or not have a big role? All of a sudden, you just loved writing them, so they got a bigger role going forward? Or have you had a character that you thought when you were planning that was probably going to get killed off, you decided maybe they won't because now maybe they can serve a bigger purpose? Have you had anything like that happen?
Not exactly. Up until the grimdark, everybody has had their place.
Okay.
And that really hasn't changed much. I have a pretty good idea right now who is going to continue to breathe, and I don't, they're going to keep on going for as long as possible. But in this world, it's much tougher. I mean, heck, the bookworm, he's in a super tough position. I mean, yeah, it's a desk job, but when you're under a tyrannical government, it can go any way.
Oh man, throwing us some little spicy teases there for this book.
Oh,
yeah. Daniel just said, thanks for saying it's a great question. But he says he had side characters that tell him they are now main characters. And then, that happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And this made me think of something I don't want to forget you to ask. But we were talking about it, and Molly was talking about how it is crazy long. And thank goodness for audiobooks. Are you planning any audiobooks for your books?
I have a friend of mine who is he's been real busy lately, and I'm gonna have to get down and meet with him again. Who I had in mind for a while for audiobooks. We'll see where it goes with him. I'm not in a hurry. I'm really not. And I understand the value of audiobooks. They are very valid forms of storytelling. I mean, heck, we were telling stories around the fire for generations and thousands of years and so forth. But I'm not in a huge hurry for that because money-wise, and also I'm a traditionalist. I like paperbacks.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that'll come into play. I guess whenever I have more in order. Hopefully.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's true. Yep. And Molly, as an author, he says the same thing. They open up so much accessibility and new fans and stuff, but they are so expensive, which is just something that I want the narrators to get paid what they deserve to get paid, but there's got to be a way eventually to make audiobooks more easily accessible for indie authors. It's just wild how much they cost.
I mean, I do it all myself.
You should do it yourself.
But it's like reading out loud for me is not as for everybody else is not as easy as reading it to yourself. Because with the Ignited Moon, you have the one character who sounds awful lot like this. My queen, why is there people attacking the border? Why? I thought we were supposed to trust you. How can we trust you? They're your people. You married into us. What's going on? Damn it.
See, you got the voice acting skill. You got to narrate some books, man.
Well, I mean, I keep tossing up the one video from Daniel's podcast every once in a while. I'm saying, here, this is my audition tape.
I love it, dude. You nail it. It's wild. See, there we go.
I would like to be discovered enough to where I can, maybe do some DC Comics, cartoons, because I can sound like the Crown Prince of Crime. Without Batman, crime has no punchline.
You nail the Mark Hamill Joker, man. It's wild.
Oh yeah.
Well done. JA does his own audiobooks, he said. But he's a super slow reader, so it takes him a while to do it. So keep that in mind, because you got the chops, man. The voice acting chops to make an amazing audiobook. But I get it too. But for now, you got to write, because I want that grimdark book in my hands someday, my friend.
I think if I do an audiobook myself, I'm gonna have to build myself a soundproof area
Yeah, that's the other
because
thing. You need.
like I literally live next to a semi-busy street and everything. So there's always that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
That can only work
sorry.
for so many scenes, right?
Exactly. It's like there's no cars in this
Right.
scene.
Uh,
Honking horns, barking dogs. Now, none of that.
See, here you go. Daniel says he's gonna have you do a superhero series now.
I will. I'll do it. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Here I come to save the day. I'm Mighty Mouse.
Oh, Mighty Mouse. That takes me back, man.
Oh, yeah.
What did he always? What was his saying that he would say? Was it up, up, and away? I mean, I know that was Superman, but didn't he say something like
I
that?
think he would say, "Here I come to save the day."
Oh, yeah, here I come to save the day. That's right. That is good. Oh, that is good. All right. Back to process. So when you are writing a book, like let's take for example Ignited Moon. When you're focused, you're writing, you're trying to get things done. Are you a creature of habit who writes in the same place, writes at the same time of day, makes goals to get so many words done per day or per week? Or do you just kind of write whenever you have time and you just know you're going to get to it? Where do you fall in that when you're working on a project?
Well, since I started working at the school, I've had to kind of just change things up a bit because when you're needing at certain times, you need at certain times, not an on-call thing. But I typically write in the mornings. Now
Okay.
during the summer, I write in the evenings and on the weekends. But I'm not one of those who says write every day because you might not always have it every day. But I put it out when I can, and I make sure I have enough coffee fuel in me, and I go from there. And I no longer rush it. I used to rush it, but now I no longer rush it. I
That's
used to be
good.
able to crush it out between 600 and 800 words a day. But now, for some reason, not so much. Now, when I hear people say, "Oh, I write 5,000 words a day," I'm like, not to be mean, but either you're unemployed or your partner makes a crap ton of money. Because I would need a chair between between the kitchen and the toilet. Because that's the only way I could see myself being able to do that. I'd have to have right in the middle there. That way I could just hit pause or whatever it is,
Right.
do my business or grab some food and then come back.
Yeah, that's a lot of words in a day
It is a lot.
consistently to do. That's wild.
Yeah, but I applaud you. If you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
More power to you.
exactly. Now, do you have a favorite place to write? Like, do you have a favorite chair?
No, no. I used to have a favorite place. Like I used to, right on the couch, or I used to write on this chair that I have. But now I have, and now that I live in a house, I've been living in a house for a few years now. I have an office, and occasionally I will go to the coffee shop and everything. But now the coffee shop has become blog article territory, and home is fictional writing territory. So
Okay.
if I want to get out and write like a short little thing for my blog, I'll go to the coffee shop
Okay.
because there's so many things coming at once and I get the sensory overload. So when I'm here, I concentrate on writing, the grim dark or a short story or what have you.
Nice. All right. I like it. That's a good separation. I like that. All right. Next question. When you are writing, does it need to be completely quiet? Or do you like background noise? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to music? Does it have to be instrumental only with no lyrics? Where do you fall with that?
Well, the road next to me is great white noise, so I just listen to that going back and forth. It doesn't have to be completely quiet. Now, if someone's talking directly to me, which is a rarity, then I have a problem. But other than that, I'm pretty good. I've actually started watching these like rainstorm,
Okay.
thunderstorm sort of things. I put that in the background, put on like a low volume. But other than that, I usually don't have anything playing. I just have the highway doing all the work.
All the work for you. That works. That's good. That is a good white noise background. I like it. All right. Very cool. Earlier you talked about research. What's your favorite way to do research? do you use the internet? Do you use other books? Do you do both? Or do you even need to do a lot of research for every book? Does it depend on the book? How do you do that?
The very first book I ever wrote, I had to do a lot of research into the 18th dynasty, Egypt, and into Nikola Tesla. So I had bought a book about Nikola Tesla, and I already knew quite a bit about ancient Egypt because I originally wanted to become a history teacher. So I kind of have it all pre-programmed into my head. And as far as the other books are concerned, there was a lot of Googling because you kind of had to figure, what is this? What is that? And the last thing I even Googled was like a hand pump, water pump. But other than that, a lot of things stay in my head. Sometimes I'll use other books to figure things out. But because I'm pretty well versed in what I need to know for the Grimdark, I don't really need to go and do much other than little things like the hand water pump.
Oh yeah,
because it's like, what's that called? I can't just say hand pump. Or I can't say this.
Right.
Like I had the one thing, like, I couldn't say chokehold because that seems like it would just be too WWE pro wrestler. So I had to find another alternative to that because I didn't want to take anybody out of the scene.
Yeah.
Somebody told me one time that if you use the word column, it'll take someone out of the scene and they'll think about like the Roman times. I'm like, I have described this was for the Ignited Moon. I have described to you this ancient world that has specifics in it, and the word column is going to ruin it for you. I cannot tell you how long it took me to come up with an alternative word for kilt. Okay, because someone said to me, "Oh, if you use the word kilt, we're going to think of the Irish or the Scots." I'm like,
I never thought of that.
That's a universal word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be like, oh, sweet. I know exactly what he means.
Exactly what he means. We're in this ancient world and everything, and now I'm going to think of a flannel.
I know. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I guess every reader's different. I guess it's good to play it safe.
Yeah. I mean, hey, whatever. To each his own. So I came up with Lumao, Lumao. For a replacement for a kilt, and that's throughout the entire Iron Frost universe.
Well, see, I would have had to look that up because I wouldn't know what it means. Kilt, exactly. I would have known exactly what it is.
Exactly. I had somebody who had read part of the Ignited Moon, and as far as the moon part was concerned, they wanted me to come up with an exact astrophysicist sort of thing to where how the moon rotates and how its phases with this and that. And I'm like, no one cares. If they do care, they're not reading fiction. They're reading something from Neil deGrasse Tyson, which, by the way, love the guy, but I don't know. I'd rather would read a book from him on that,
right,
and have me try to go and do research and explain that and put that in a book.
Right.
And it has no significance. But I digress.
What do you do? Oh, awesome stuff. All right. Well, so those are my questions about writing. So we're gonna switch gears, and I have some questions about you outside of writing, so we can get to know you a little better. But before we do that, we're gonna play a little game here. I have these cards. They're called 1-minute mysteries.
I like the illustration on there.
I know, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So they've got these little bottles, and each one has a mystery on it, a case. So what I do is I read you the case, and I'll tell you what the mystery you have to solve is, and then we'll see how quick you can solve it. And the chat can help. And there's also clues I can give you. They start with more like generic clues, and then there's like 5 of them, and each one gets a little more clear what it is. But we'll see if you need any clues or not. So let me make sure that we haven't done any of these.
Scott will be the world's greatest detective.
Yes.
I won't use a bad computer, which is Google in this case.
Oh, that one's. Some of these are ridiculous. That one was not a good one. Yeah, not that one. I need to find one more. I got 2 good ones. I need one more. Oh. All right, this one's good. All right. So you get to choose. Do you want to do card number 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Oop, I just dropped it. Hold on. All right, now I'm ready. Here's the case. Chat, jump in if you think you know the answer. After taking a bad fall, a lost and bewildered young girl suspects she may have been drugged. The girl stumbles upon wild rabbits and a mischievous cat while trying to find her way. She meets many other animated characters and narrowly escapes with her life. Who is the girl and where has she found herself?
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, boom. Nicely done. I feel like I need to do another one.
Which,
'Cause you
by
got
the
that
way,
one.
I tried reading that book and I need to give it a revisit. Its first paragraph is one whole sentence,
Really?
if I remember correctly. And I'm
Oh,
like,
gosh. Just like a
well,
long run-on sentence?
and it's just one whole sentence, one whole sentence, the first paragraph. And I'm like, I guess you could get away with that in 18 whatever, but it's like, wow. It's like
That's
teachers yell
that's
at you
true.
about run-on sentences. You're like, here, read this book. Run-on sentences. Right there.
I know that is true. Some of that older stuff. I mean, people just were excited for story. They didn't care about,
Exactly.
grammar and punctuation as much as they do now.
Exactly.
All right. Well, it's up to you. Do you want me to ask you another one or do you want to move on? All right.
We can do one more.
Let's see. I'll find one that's not book or okay, here we go. This one is not book or TV show related. So let's see if you get this one. All right, here we go. While taking a midnight stroll, Marvin is viciously attacked. After quickly rubbing something all over his body, the attackers flee. His assailants don't have weapons, but Marvin definitely lost some blood. Who is attacking Marvin and what substance drives them away?
Rub something all over himself. Well, I mean, I don't think blood wouldn't drive anybody away. I mean, a scent of any kind that would drive somebody away would be like, skunk spray or deer urine or something like that. That would definitely drive me away. But then again, my stepdad is a hunter and he has a whole crate thing full of smells and everything.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm basically immune at this point. So I don't know if I can solve that one, but
well, I can. You want the first clue?
Yeah, what's the first clue?
All right, so I'll give you the first 2 clues. So at night, it is almost impossible to see the attackers, and Marvin manages to kill a few of them with his bare hands.
Well, I would say that he's probably a boxer. Because if you're gonna, I mean, in that kind of a setting, I would say he's definitely a boxer. And just with the name alone, I don't see him being a martial artist. That's very unlikely. So his ability to defend himself definitely would have scared people away.
Oh yeah. Okay. Chris, the writing jester, has a guess in here. Let's see if you agree with him. He says the attackers are mosquitoes, and he uses bug spray to drive them away.
That would make sense.
It is correct. Bitten by mosquitoes.
There you go.
Now the next clue I was going to give you probably would have got it because it says, although Marvin can't press charges, he's itching for revenge.
Oh, well, that would have been it right there.
I know. I'm like, well, wait a minute, because I feel like as soon as I tell him this clue, he'll get it.
Oh yeah.
All right, nicely done, Andrew and Chris. Nicely done. Teamwork makes the dream work. Way to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, here's Trinity is here. Thanks for being here, Trinity. Yes, that is a fun game. It is a fun game. Once in a while we get a stinker, one that's just like, what? Like the answer will be something so specific and like it'll be like, oh, the man was at a museum looking at this art piece in this city, and it's like, how would anyone have guessed that from the clues that you gave? But most of the time they're good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Are you ready for your questions?
Mhm.
For us to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to start off with an easier one, although sometimes this is hard for people, but we'll see what you say. What is your favorite color? See, sometimes
I would say black, because black is the absence of color. Because if I had said white, white is every single color.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So I like black because it's the absence of color, just because of that fact alone.
Okay,
So
I like it.
black. Because I also like that line from was it from Batman Begins, where he says, "Does it come in black?"
Oh yeah, does it come?
And then the third movie, Lucius is like, "Yes, Mr. Wayne, it does come in black."
Yep, you didn't need to ask. Good.
It has a
Oh man.
long Wayne Enterprises name, but we stick to calling it the Bat.
All right. Side note. We've talked about Batman a lot. So, are you a DC guy?
I'm a bit of both. I'm a bit of
Okay.
both. I
Both
like
too.
Batman and I like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey,
really
those are my two
deviate
favorites.
from those two heroes. I do like the Flash, specifically Barry Allen,
Yeah.
and the only Superman I like is Kingdom Come Superman,
Ooh,
mostly because
good.
of Alex Ross's art and Mark Waid's story.
So good.
And then as far as Marvel is concerned, anybody that isn't Spider-Man would probably be Daredevil. And it's purely because of Charlie Cox. It's purely because of the show. Like every time I read a Daredevil comic, I hear Charlie's voice in my head.
Yeah. Did you have you watched the newest season? I have not yet.
I have. I am right now. My Disney Plus is down, but I cannot wait to see the next season. Because it's just he plays that character so well, and then you have the actor that plays the Kingpin, and he does great. He was on Law and Order. He's like, yeah, kind of like this. I have a particular set of skills, so
that's pretty good.
No longer a vigilante. Are you no longer a vigilante?
Oh man, that's good. That is good. Trinity agrees with us. Charlie Cox is Daredevil.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yep. Oh yeah, and Matt Ryan was a great Constantine. I agree with that too. That was a bummer when that got canceled. All right, so next question. What is your favorite food? If you were going to go out to eat somewhere and you could only go to one place for one kind of food, what would it be?
See here. I like calamari Diablo.
Ooh.
And it's pretty good. And it's I get it at this restaurant I used to work at, and that's about 16 years ago or so that I worked at that place. But it's really good, and that's something I would go out for. And I tried to use it as the kind of set myself up to have spicier and more hotter foods. But then it became too tamed, and I became immune to its kick and everything. I wasn't watering in the eyes anymore, so I might have to challenge myself a bit more. But calamari Diablo, I like that.
Nice. Okay. I don't know if I've had calamari, but I've never had Diablo. Is that just a spicy calamari, or is that a certain like spicy thing they put on it that makes it?
It's like they bread the calamari and they fry it up, and then they put I guess their own version of Diablo sauce on it, and I go from there.
Nice.
So
all right, I'm gonna have to try it. I love spicy stuff. And I love calamari. Good combination. All right. So my next question is, we know that you're a good writer, and we know now that you're great at voices. But what is a hobby or talent you have that we don't know about?
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be a talent. It can be a hobby, like something you
collect. Well, I can sing. I can sing a little bit. As far as talent is concerned. Hobby wise, I just collect different editions of Lord of the Rings. I have about 8 editions of Lord of the Rings, and I have about 5 or 6 editions of The Hobbit.
Very
I'm just gonna keep on going with that.
What's your favorite one that you have?
The one it's actually in your on your shelf, the red one, with the white lettering. That one is my favorite.
Me too.
That one,
cool.
that one I was waiting a while to get,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought it after a date stood me up. So I was like, I need
What?
this. I really need this to just make myself feel better. So, and I
What?
wanted to get it signed by the four actors who played the Hobbits,
Oh, that'd
and
be
then
cool.
the convention sold out on tickets, so I didn't get to go in. But
Ah,
maybe eventually, But
oh yeah,
it's my favorite of them all. I won't read it though. I won't. It's
it's
like
too
the
nice.
holy grail of my collection. I really want to get one of those stands with stands, and you just leave the book open, which I'm sure
Oh yeah,
with the glass case. I want to
yep.
get that and have it open to like some specific page.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So those are
That'd
hard
be
to find though.
Yeah, they are. But that would be sweet. All right, very cool. I like it. So singing wise, did you sing in like school? Were you in choir
I
or
was in
something?
musicals. I was in choir.
Okay.
And I actually sang at a Comic Con, not like on stage or anything, but I
Mhm.
was singing a Tim McGraw song. So, and the song was said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, and a moment came and stopped me on a dime.
It's a good
I
song.
spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options and talking about sweet time. And I actually get
Yeah.
messed up on that one little part right there because I don't know what he says, and no matter how much I turn it up, I can't hear what he says.
Oh man.
And then I get the rest. But I sang a good portion of that, and people seem to like it. And I
Yeah.
used to do a
You
lot
sound
of
good, man.
karaoke. Thank you. And I was in 3 musicals. I was in Beauty and the Beast, Peter Pan, and Thoroughly Modern Millie, and then just various choir various stuff. And then for homecoming, I sang my high school's alma mater in the Star Spangled Banner.
Very cool. All
That was
right.
probably this. I think that was the same one that I wore the mascot outfit, which was pretty interesting.
Oh man, what was the mascot outfit?
It was a Trojan,
Oh, nice.
and I said to myself when I was wearing the mask, I'm like, I never thought I'd find a head bigger than mine until I put this on.
Oh man, made your head feel small when you had that on there,
Oh
huh?
yeah,
Oh yeah, here
not
we
compared
go.
to the crocodile one.
Says that the bidding for your audiobook narration just went up now that we know you can sing too.
Oh, definitely.
Very cool, man. Well, you are a super talented guy, my friend. Not
I used to be
surprised.
able to draw as well,
Ooh,
and
okay.
that kind of like faded away a bit because I had surgery on
Okay.
my wrist and everything. But I used to do quite a bit of drawing,
Nice.
mostly ancient Egyptian stuff
Okay.
and various superheroes.
Cool.
And I did a self portrait of myself, and it's actually in my senior yearbook.
Oh wow. Okay.
And to me, it kind of looks like Macaulay Culkin, but I mean, maybe it's just me. Um, but
Oh man, you're
yeah,
gonna have to dig it up and show me sometime.
yeah.
Very cool. All right. Next question. You have to put on the old memory cap for this one. Do you remember what your first car was?
A Honda Pilot 2003.
Ooh, you got it down. Honda Pilot. Oh man, I remember
I just
those.
saw it not too long ago. I recognize the rust spots.
Like your exact one? You think
The
it was?
exact one, yeah. Oh
No
yeah,
way.
I recognized all the marks on it, the rust spots. It still has no air conditioning and no
Oh
heat,
man.
and everything because that was giving out at the end.
What
So
uh what color was it? You remember? I'm gonna try to look
it
up.
was like a sagebrush green,
Okay. Let's see if this.
and I remember it because it's the one car that I had the most fender benders in. My first day of my senior year of high school, I parked in a teacher spot, and then I moved the car, and then when I moved the car, I backed into a spot, and then I backed into somebody's vehicle.
Was it like that?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I also took off somebody's mirror at
Oh gosh.
a funeral And I actually sang and performed at the funeral. So
Oh,
here
geez.
you went and you sang this beautiful song along with the rest of the school
Took off
choir,
singing
and
here.
then you leave because you're going to KFC. You don't know where you're going. You're following somebody, and you take off a mirror. I mean, I left a note, and I thought the car was a piece of junk. Turns out the car was a brand new vehicle. I
Oh, no.
piece of junk. I was like, this doesn't look like a really cool car or whatever it is. But anyway, I'm gonna leave a note and be nice and everything. And so forth. All I can tell you is this: is that I don't know how I'm still not punished by my parents. I don't know how I
Oh,
have
man.
avoided being put in the corner or being, whatever punishment the parents come up with.
Yeah.
I don't know how I avoided it.
How you avoided it. Oh, man. You did, though. That's all that
Oh, I
matters.
did, yes.
All right. What was your first job? Do you remember that?
Technically speaking, I worked for my folks sorting scrap metal. I think that would actually technically be the first one.
Okay.
That was at $5 an hour.
Oh, geez.
And then over the time, I just worked for them on and on. And eventually, I was making more, but it was more just like pocket money.
Yeah, for sure.
Than anything else. And if you read The Discarded Knight, I changed a sheet metal shop to a butcher shop because when you're in Victorian era England, you're not going to see a whole lot of welders and big machines that can cut metal. And if you, you probably would. I don't really know. I'm not really familiar with the machinery back then so much.
Yeah.
But I felt like a butcher shop would have been better because it's more visual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You don't have that in the Ignited Moon, though. The Ignited Moon is strictly, adventures and this and that. And,
so not as yeah, for sure. Very cool. All right. I am wearing a PlayStation shirt. So my next question is, are you now or have you ever been a gamer? PC, console, any type of games?
I've had just about every generation of PlayStation with the exception of 5. I usually just played single player games. My favorite games to play are the more recent first Spider-Man game, just because of the free flow you can have with web slinging that you couldn't get with the PlayStation 1 version, which the PlayStation 1 version, that was, back then that was top of the line.
It was.
And then I also like the Arkham games.
Oh, love those.
I feel that Arkham Origins is underrated because it's actually the hardest of them all.
It is,
in my opinion. And I actually kind of think it has, I wouldn't say it's the best story. The best story is definitely Arkham City. Because, and then they have there's one scene in it that I watched over and over again on YouTube, and I actually played the game over and over again just to watch that part. It goes something like this. It was all a lie. There's nothing wrong with you. Nice of you to say, but you of all people should know there's plenty wrong with me. Take my blood, for example. I wish somebody would. This stuff is killing me. Why should I care? Because now there's a teeny bit of me in you too, bats. Oh, come on. You can't tell me it's not what you've always wanted. Listen.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
even right in there, just like he was. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
If I closed my eyes, I could just imagine the game just playing. Like you, no kidding, dude. You nail that voice. Yeah. That is pretty good.
What is it? The one part where Harley goes over to Batman, and Batman's like slightly unconscious, and she's about to lift the mask, and then Joker's like, "Get back here, Harley," and she says, "Why want to know who it is, sweetie?" And he says, "No one's ever who they say they are, my dear. So why spoil the fun?"
Oh, that is so good. And that's true.
That's true.
That is true. All right. So last one, we're going to bring it back around to, well, actually first, before we do that, what, you don't have to give me like a certain number or anything, but what are some of your favorite movies or TV shows? I say TV shows, but really it's like streaming shows now. But
Yeah,
anyway,
basically,
what are
yeah.
some of your favorite shows or movies through your life?
Oh, let's see here. Batman the animated series.
Oh,
Batman the animated series, Batman Beyond, Cheers, MASH, the '90s X-Men, the '90s Spider-Man, the Flash with Grant Gustinson, but only
love
really up to season 2 because after
it.
that I just don't care. I really don't because it just kind of just kept getting more and more ridiculous. And
Oh yeah, it did.
how many times can you have a villain speedster? Let's see. I did like Everybody Loves Raymond at one
Oh
point.
yeah.
I like Home Improvement. I did more History Channel stuff
Hmm.
back when I was a kid, so I can't really name any of the History Channel shows and all
Oh
that.
yeah.
But I watched a lot of that
Me
and
too.
Discovery. What else? Let's see, Mass Cheers and that's
Pretty
about
good.
it for the
Pretty good
most part.
list.
Oh, and then there's, of course, there's a Daredevil show on
Yeah, yeah.
Netflix.
Well, and probably Lord of the Rings, right?
Oh, definitely
Lord of the
Lord.
Rings movies. Yeah.
You have to watch the extended editions.
Oh heck yeah.
Movie and what else movie wise? Oh, I do actually to a certain degree, even though I have a hard time hearing it at times. I do like the Keanu Reeves Constantine.
Oh yeah. Me too.
I just
Me
think
too. Me
it's
too.
mostly because it's like even though he has a very short appearance in it, there's a certain actor that plays a certain character in it that I really like. As far as Marvel movies is concerned, I would say Winter Soldier is probably
Oh,
my favorite. It literally is the best interpretation of Captain America at that point,
mhm.
and it's fantastic. I don't really care for Endgame a whole lot. I like Infinity
Mhm.
War a bit more.
Yeah, that's good.
And let's see, both Keaton Batman movies. I grew up on the Val Kilmer Batman movie. The
Okay.
only thing I like about the Clooney one is Arnold Schwarzenegger because he has all the ice puns and everything. And
Oh
he
yeah,
looked like he was having a lot of fun with that.
he did.
I mean, I could go on as far as 1917.
Oh
Like that because
yeah,
it's a World War One movie,
that is a good movie. Yeah.
and Enemy at the Gates.
Hmm.
Um, other than that, that's pretty much it.
That's a good list. I agree with all those. Yeah, I liked them all too. Very nice. All right, so now we'll bring it back to books and reading. Uh, you've mentioned a few already, but just tell us some of your favorite books and authors through the years.
Let's see. Well, yeah, I mentioned George R. Martin. I mentioned
Yeah.
Tolkien. I mentioned Frank Herbert. I do like Nicholas Eames because he
Nice.
does have a bit of that comedic
Yep.
uh, ness in his books.
Hmm.
What else? Looking at my shelf here. Of course, Joe Abercrombie. Um, I like Stephen Graham Jones.
Oh
Though I'm
yeah.
gonna probably have to try some different books of his. I've
Mhm.
been trying to read The Only Good Indians,
Yeah.
but the way it's written, I have to kind of refocus myself at times because it's like third person present tense, and I hate present tense. I don't because it just defies logic for me.
Mhm. Yeah.
You're not there; it already happened. It's in the book.
I
My
know.
logical brain does not allow for that.
I know it's
Um,
hard.
but his book, The Buffalo Hunter, I
Hmm.
think is great.
Did you like it? Okay.
It's a different version of what we're used to as far as vampirism and vampires is
Mhm.
concerned, and it's great and
Okay. I
it's
just
kind of
picked that one up.
historical in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it.
Good. I've heard mixed things. Some people love it. I feel like you either love it or you hate it. So
Oh, yeah.
that's good. It's good to know you liked it. I'm excited to check that one out.
And I actually have, I think I probably have more comic book related authors. I like Jeff Loeb,
Oh yeah.
Jeff Johns. Um,
Oh yeah. Really good ones.
I don't know. I can't remember names now. But yeah, I like a lot of them. And then I really like probably one of my favorite artists besides Alex Ross is Jim Lee. I actually did an art history report on him, and I got an A on it. I wish I
Nice.
would have kept it because then if I ever had the opportunity, then maybe he could sign it. but I didn't keep it. And I went into detail about how he did the tread on the boot of Batman's boot in Batman Hush.
Oh yeah.
Because the tread of a boot is significant. I mean, as far as detail is concerned.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
really good ones. I agree. Very nice. Awesome, man. All right. So in a minute, we're going to wrap up with some things, but I want to shout out a couple of people that popped in late just to shout them out. Mark from the Book Lounge is here. What's up? Thanks for popping in. And Mike Molden's here. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. No worries. Better late than never. So, all right. So we are past an hour. That flew by, man. This has been a blast chatting with you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And when your next book comes out, I'd love to have you back so we can talk about it and hype up that book for you. Or anytime you want to come on for any reason. I'd love to chat with you.
Well, sure. Like definitely the next book.
Yes.
And so forth, like maybe early on during page or something like that.
Yeah. I'd love to.
So forth. But it's been fun. And yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. So before I go into my ending spiel, real quick, one thing. Again, anybody watching live or replay, Andrew's books are linked in the description down below, so you can go check them out. But I'm going to give you the floor one more time to just talk about your books or shout out anything you want. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I encourage everyone to read, enjoy, and review The Ignited Moon. It was definitely one of the more challenging books to write because it was the first time I got really in depth as far as world building, and I can tell you that you're going to like the immersion. And there's almost a whole different vocabulary in it to a certain extent, and you'll find a pinch of humor in it, and that's my first real attempt at it. But I really go deep into the whole ancient cultures, and if you're into ancient history, I highly recommend this. And as far as the discarded night is concerned, if you have a friend, family member, spouse on the autistic spectrum, this book is definitely for that person. I feel that they will feel connected to it. And also a lot of other folks will feel connected because as you go along, things expand. You see how bullying is managed, and it's definitely I think it's a universal book to a certain extent. It's the best of the two as far as selling is concerned, and it's a quick introduction into what I have to offer. It's only about 144 pages or so. And if you live in the Westmoreland County area, it is at the Latrobe Chamber of Commerce. There's copies there. I don't know if they've sold out yet, but you can buy one there. And if you want hope, I think you should read this, because you'll see that even though Alfred has this issue, he finds a way to overcome it. And ultimately, that's what everybody needs to try and do, is to find a way to overcome what they have going for them, whether it be a mental or a physical disability or a tragedy in their life. Alfred is someone to look up to.
Very nice. Beautifully said, my friend. And I would follow that up by saying that you are also someone to look up to, because you deal with the same things that your character does with being on the spectrum. You've dealt with some bullying and things like that, but you're following your dream. You're making it happen. You're kicking butt. And people that have experienced similar things can look to you and see that I can do this too. If I have a dream, I can follow it as well. So I think you are a big inspiration as well, my friend.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. And I'm always, hey, if we can, if I can connect with a reader, we can chat about their experiences, whether it be on the autistic spectrum or just with a daily problem. I'll be happy to do what I can and to help.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So let us know where people can find you. I know you're on X. Where
I'm
else
on
can
X,
people follow you? Okay.
TikTok, and Facebook.
Nice. Got it. So there you go. Follow Andrew on all those things. Reach out, talk to him about his book or whatever. He'd love to hear from you. So,
Totally.
all right. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys. You guys were fantastic.
much.
You were an awesome chat. And anybody watching on replay, we appreciate you as well. Team Replay is always appreciated. But we're going to wrap it up there. Everybody have a great rest of your evening. Look for a link. I'll put it out when I get it tomorrow sometime. I'm going to be on Two to Ramble's channel. We're going to talk about the Anxious Generation book. So look forward to that. But until then, I will see you in the next one. And until I do, as I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you, everybody.